Okay, abusia ajebu eja enya bedru yede mo bawra NDC engine room abusia okwa dewa se NDC mpanyimfo etunyum ewo anigye so dewa omoje omoni all over say omware ne akwatia seat na abusia enye asemketo akra na uti omonyoma omoto anada mean say NPP for ne de se dewa aniwu aka omono enye asemketo akra na enyom ben na omoto omonyoma omoto ne say revolution has a long way to go, but has come to stay. Abusia, mommy uncle, na yanko nkuti ensema ekoso. Sa nyom no, ena chese omotwa omudi AD ehrusie ewo political highway. So unsubscribe ya, subscribe, like na share ma afofron so ensa into me enkabia ha Ghana politics havani so. Medamase.
Secretary of the NDC, Fifi Abikwete.
Been involved in a brawl with the NPP second deputy chairman, Masaudu. What do you have to say about that?
Brawl? What kind of brawl is that?
There was a confrontation. And they punched Masaudu at a police station in Apetia.
I see. I've not really taken time to abreast myself of that. So I think I will try and find out.
So that incident was involving Chief Sofo Azoka and then Alhaji Masaudu, who is the third national vice chairman of the NPP. And Masaudu says that he has reported the matter to the police.
Okay, then that's okay. I mean, once it's reported, then I think we should allow the police to do an investigation. And then whoever is found culpable, I mean, the right thing needs to be done.
What do you say to proposals that this is an expensive exercise to have, and therefore there should be a tweak in the constitution to say the party that holds a seat, if something happens to the MP, should just elect someone to be on the seat so we can save ourselves all of this struggle?
No, why not? I mean, constitutional reviews are things that we should always be open to having, because after 32 years, you always want to bring changes. So there's nothing wrong with that. So that conversation, I think it's a conversation NDC, NPP, we should be able to sit together and even have an agreement upon. And once we do, we both will be able to push that, in Parliament. But that said, NPP tried to literally create impression that we stepping away from Tamale Central, you to step away from Akwatia. The truth is this, NPP know they have no chance in Tamale Central. They could bring Bawumia and you lose miserably in Tamale Central. So naturally they will not go. So that was just a pretense, taking advantage of their sympathy and pretending, we are very, it's a game they were playing. Akwatia is a place where we believe December 7 we won. It was declared for them. So we believe the people of Equatorial needed an opportunity to make a final choice between NDC and NPP who won that seat, in December.
But in the spirit of comradeship, don't you think that given what has happened, the death of the MP, don't you think that it was necessary for you at least to allow them have the seat in Parliament? You already have a large number in Parliament.
The people of Akuffo deserve the opportunity to decide whether they want to be on the side of the NDC or the MPP. I'm saying subsequently, if we have a constitutional review, we can look at that. But you cannot deny how many people in Akuffo the opportunity to have a choice simply because you are saying, oh, MP passed away, therefore you must be saddled with maybe an MP on an opposition side that you don't want. So, if we are talking democracy, let's continue to pursue democracy.
So, given how polarized,
the constitutional review will be able to, is something that I
given
think
how polarized our political space is, do you think that NDC, MPP, and other political parties, you can come together at a table to agree that?
Why not? Why not? I think we can, because you know what? 32 years of a democratic journey, we should have the level of maturity to be able to sit together and have a conversation. I can tell you as General Secretary, I'm pretty much willing, and I've actually made effort to that effect with, I normally focus more on the MPP because they are the direct opponent that we have. So I've had that conversation with my counterpart on the other side, and it's something I think we can continue to discuss. So that you see, the important thing that it should be done without hypocrisy. When you try to play games and pretending that I'm pulling out of Tamale Central, when you know you have no chance in Tamale Central and asking us to pull out of Akuffo, then it's not fair. We should look at it clearly and decide. Position that, then regardless of whether you can win it or you cannot win it, we agree. But simply claiming that pull out of Tamale Central, therefore pull out, it's a game and we are not ready to play that game.
With just an hour to go and the voter turnout you have seen, are you confident of the chances of the NDC's candidate?
I would say MPP clearly were holding the seat, so naturally they, right from the beginning, will be considered the favorite. But we believe that just as we did, even going into the December 7, where MPP were the favorite, but we managed to, as it were, beat them and beat them well. I think the same thing will happen here. Akuffo will be green before we leave here today.
General, given about cost of elections, do you know how much the NDC has spent so far in this election?
Do I know where that was?
How much the NDC has spent regarding this Akuffo by-election?
Every election, you have to mobilize money and get it done. At the end of the process, we'll sit together and find out exactly what the total expenses have been. But clearly, no election is done without mobilization. It's always been the case.
How much do you think you spent?
I'll have to check that.
I'm
not in the position to
roughly how much, General?
We'll see. When the election is over, we'll do that calculation.
Why do you like pommeling people? You've beaten someone to the extent that the person really is begging for mercy. Just one seat that you say, okay, at this point I won't deliver. You're still delivering.
It's not us who are pummeling. It's the people of Ghana who are pummeling them. The people of Ghana clearly are sending them a clear message that your 8 years have been absolute disaster. And we want to let you know that we totally do not like what you did. And I'm hoping that they will be able to, as it were, eat the humble pie, learn. But it doesn't appear they are learning. Because if you watch them carefully, you can see clearly that they are behaving exactly how they did. Even when they came into office from 2017. Long may they continue. That's to our advantage. If they continue remaining like that, then that's fine. But if they decide that they will learn a good lesson, show some humility, maybe the people of Ghana will change. So the pummeling is being done by the people of Ghana.
So, General, no mercy?
Today, what signal will it send to the General Secretary?
You mean if what? If we
lose this?
The NDC lose
MPP won it in December 7, even though we believe that we have won it. So if they won it, it means that they were able to defend their seat. So we give them credit. In democracy, you win some, you lose some. So we will prepare for another one. And believe.
It won't be a verdict on the
Oh, no. Why should there be a verdict on the government? A seat that was won in December by them, if they manage to retain it, it simply means that they were able to work hard and consolidate their ground.
There's the sentiment that the Akuffo needs an NDC NP to get development in case you lose. Are you promising that they also receive development?
I think generally every area of the country wishes to be on the side of government because somehow it makes it easier. If you are in opposition, it's a little more difficult because as you can expect, an MP in opposition doesn't have the same access to ministers as the one in government. So I would say generally some minimum development will happen across the whole country. But if you have the side if you have an MP who sits on the majority, chances are that you get a little more. I mean, it's normal. If your mother is in the kitchen, you eat more than if your mother's rival is in the kitchen. You may not eat the same. All right. Thanks so much.
So that is the General Secretary of the NDC, Fifi Kote, who was engaging us after supervising the election here at the Bawumia bus terminal. So the sounds that you are hearing is the police siren, and they are heading towards the coalition center at Akutia or in Akutia proper, where the coalition is expected to begin in the next 2 hours. Voting would end in the next hour. And we believe.
Thank you very much, Abdul Hanan Adam, with that conversation with the General Secretary of the NDC, Fifi Kweti. And we've
Are
all...
you blushing?
No, it's because of what we had just talked about here in the studio. And for me, it's not a departure from the last time I heard Fifi Kweti speaking. And this was during the North by-election, where at the time, many other reps of the NDC were sort of gloating in the assaults on Hawa Kumsin. In an interview he had with the media, he said that he understands that a lot of his people are upset with regard to how they were treated in the previous administration, or how some of the things were handled, and even how Hawa Kumsin herself conducted herself on some occasions, like when she fired a warning shot and all others. But that being said, it doesn't mean that you should do like for like. You should not pay her back in the same coin she paid you in. Rather, you need to rise above the noise and do better for people to see that you are the difference they voted for.
Right. Wow.
And for me, listening to him, I was like, okay. I said to myself, is this the Fifi Kweti we have always known? The former propaganda secretary? Is that him? Yeah. But then I got to appreciate that this is a man who is growing or who has grown or chosen to grow and rise above the pettiness. Therefore, I was not surprised when he was speaking the way he was speaking, listening to him, attacking the issues on a factual basis, saying that, well, first was in relation to Azoka's own. Well, he says he hasn't seen the video. We cannot claim that he has seen and then he's chosen not to say that he hasn't seen. But he says, well, if the matter has been reported to the police, that's a good step. Whoever is in the wrong, may the law deal with that individual. And then again about who is a favorite or who is going to win. They said, well, the MPP won it. Yeah. So clearly going into this election, they'll be considered favorites. And so it would not be a surprise if they equally retain it. They will give them the credit if that happens. But if they also win, it's a feather in their cap. And so, I mean, I was in no way surprised at all. But yes, I could see the the shock on your faces.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, I had the benefit of seeing him join our election. Yes, and how he communicated. Just like how you were shocked today, that's the same way I was equally shocked. I was like, is this the same man? You know?
You know, as for all of us are shocked, frankly.
With the exception of Nadi.
And I'm sure some of our viewers at home are also shocked, knowing the kind of Fifi Kweti, we are used to. You know, Fifi Kweti is a fireman. I mean, fire for fire. But you see, it is also to add to what you have said that as human beings, we grow. And if I say we grow, I don't mean politically, but I mean in our lives, in our circles, we grow. And the more we grow, the more we learn.
Experiences shape us.
And experience also, it shapes the kind of persons that we are. I am so happy, with the kind of growth, or let me use your word, growing, or chosen growth that, Fifi Kweti, is embarking on. I mean, it's very fantastic. I mean, his rhetoric exhibit statesmanship, exhibit leadership, and it is something that the NPP themselves must also learn, or all other politicians must also learn. We are all one people. We need to develop this country. We should not only develop our parties and our parochial interests. Yes. We must develop a country. This is the only country that we have. And if we are able to develop it well, we will all enjoy. But if we become so, selfish, inward looking, we are always looking at our interests, our political interests, etc., we end up destroying the beautiful country that we are trying to develop. So, I mean, kudos to, my good friend, Fifi Kwete, with his rhetoric.
Vanessa, honestly, your stand.
It was such a pleasant thing to listen to.
Yeah.
Maybe this could be one of my highlights for this election. And I'm saying that because as the conversation was ongoing about the whole utterances made by Sofo Azoka, I was just checking the time. What is 4:12 now? Let's just say it was around 4 p.m. at that time. This incident happened earlier, hours ago.
Yeah. Around 9 a.m.
There hasn't been any communication from the party. I was hoping that we'd perhaps get a letter from the NDC disassociating itself or calling Azoka to order. That hadn't been done. So when we got the indication that he was on standby, I was eagerly waiting for what he had to say. When he first talked about the fact that he wasn't privy to that information, I was a bit doubtful because had Azoka been assaulted, perhaps he would have heard about it. But let's just give him the benefits of the doubt. Perhaps he hasn't really seen it. But listening to him address issues the way that he did, if I'm to tell a Gen Z that this gentleman was once a propaganda secretary for the NDC, the person may call me a liar.
Yeah.
Because so much wisdom, so much leadership.
Statemanly.
Honestly, it was such a pleasant speech to listen to, and the honesty with which he did it. Kudos to Fifi Fiabikwete, wherever he is. It was. I'm still stunned. I need a few seconds
to absorb everything. So it's some 13 minutes past the hour, 4 p.m., meaning that we have about, let's say, what, 36? 36?
No, 46
or 46 rather.
To go.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, 46. I missed my calculations for a moment there. So some 46 minutes for polls to officially close in Akwitia. Earlier, Ibrahim told us that some of the areas, for instance, in Winchi, one of the polling stations where he had visited, it looked like the turnout had seen a surge. So let's see. It had seen an uptick. So let's see whether that will be something that will be across board and we'll see more people turning up to vote. But if you're listening to us via Star 103.5 FM, or watching us on social media or watching us on GH1 television, and you happen to be Akwitia, you happen to be in Akwitia, and you are supposed to vote and you're having doubts and having second thoughts whether you should be voting or otherwise, kindly step out and go and vote, okay?
It's safe.
It's a very simple exercise. Go and cast your ballot. Go and choose who you think is worthy of leading you, the people of Akwitia, and will bring, whatever you want to that community there. Go and exercise your choice. They say that it's of no relevance when you don't take part of the decision and others make the choice for you. And then subsequently you're criticized. What are you criticized?
Well, this morning, I listened to one of our panelists. He said that not partaking in an election itself, it's some sort of participation.
That's right.
Because your withdrawal sends a signal.
That's right.
So,
it's like no comments being a comment.
Exactly. Silence means consent, sort of.
Yeah. So there's this argument that we make, in scholarship, that there's nothing called neutrality, because when you even decide to be neutral, it means that you have taken a position.
Right.
It's just that you don't belong to either left or right, but you are in the middle, and the middle itself is also a position that you have taken. So you have still taken a position. So whether if you decide to vote or not to vote, you have still made a choice, and you've still taken a decision. But at the end of the day, we must know that if you are part of the democratic process, it then gives you the impetus, the right to also criticize or to call for political accountability. If you don't take part in the process, you don't have the moral right, to criticize or to call people, to account for their stewardship, because you did not take part in the process. So I think that Ghanaians must take part in the entire democratic process that we find ourselves. When it comes to registration for voters, Ghana card, all national exercise, we must take part in it in order to help develop or grow our country and our nation.
Okay. I mean, since you are the communication expert, you know what we are talking about when we talk about nonverbal communication and all of that. We haven't heard so much from Asumedu.
Yeah.
I don't know if you monitored in the morning, but earlier when Hanan tried to engage him, he just had a few words and said, "Oh, you are disturbing me." He just, I mean, in a very jovial way, he just brushed him off. We've just heard from
the
NDC's Badiako.
NDC.
He was from Buidua, where Asumedu hails from. Looking at his speech, his mannerism, what sort of meanings do you read into that? Does he look like somebody who is confident?
Okay, so I see him, he appears calm, not too confident, you know, in the election, but very determined, to make sure that he wins the election. But if you look at his facial expressions and some of his non-verbal communication clues, you can see that this is someone who is not as confident as the NPP parliamentarian who said he was going to put his seat. He wasn't like as Ochibefi. But I can understand Ochibefi is not contesting in the election. This one is contesting in the election. So all of them are being careful. And if you look at the data, frankly, Akwetia has been keenly contested by both parties. They have been clearly contested by both NDC and MPP. And I can understand the NDC's, the NDC candidate's position, because you see, the sitting NP, was an NPP person, and he passed on. So generally, as Ghanaian, the Ghanaianism in us, generally will call for that kind of, our emotions are high and we are likely to be soft, when it comes to helping the deaf, etc., etc. So he has to be very careful around all these areas, because people of Akwetia, I will not be surprised, may, including some of the NDC, may vote for the MPP in order to show solidarity or support for the deaf, MP. It is possible.
Interesting.